Wisdom versus knowledge. Do you understand the difference? There are many, many people in this world at this moment who are trying to acquire knowledge and wisdom. But if you don't understand the difference and why it matters, then does it really matter? You're striving for it? So that's why today I want to explain to you the difference between knowledge and wisdom and why it matters. First of all, hello, and welcome back to another video. I am Anne Blackwood, your Silicon Valley Sage Sister, here to bring consciousness to the forefront of your daily life to make life a little kinder and simpler. First of all, I remembered to turn off my alarm today before filming. Congratulations to me. Second of all, I'm feeling a little under the weather today. Only a little bit. Which means I have something I'm going to want to talk about, I think, in a few days, but I'm letting this play out first. We'll see. We will see. I'm waiting to the end before I share my story. Anyway, wisdom versus knowledge. Now, you can have information, you can have knowledge, and then you can have wisdom. But what's the difference? Well, right now, for instance, I could tell you correlation is not causation. You now have a piece of information, but you don't know what that means. And you have no way to apply it out in the world if you don't know what that means. So, that is a great example of the difference between knowledge and wisdom and information. A piece of information, correlation is not causation. Do you even know what to do with that? Now, if I was to explain to you that correlation, meaning two things are associated with each other, that's what correlation means, and causation means one thing is caused by another. So, correlation is not causation, means just because two things are associated doesn't mean one is the cause of the other. Now you have knowledge. But do you have wisdom? Do you now know how to take that piece of knowledge that I've given you, that piece of information that I've given you, and apply it to something out in the real world? Because that, my friends, would be wisdom. A great example of this would be a teacher I had in college. He was my first Psych 101 teacher in college. Well, he was my only Psych 101 teacher in college. He was my second Psych 101 teacher, technically. And he actually wanted us to learn something. So rather than just having us regurgitate things that he said, regurgitate information that he presented to us, he would not only make sure that we understood it, had knowledge, but had wisdom to be able to apply it to outside situations. So he would teach us something like, I don't know, operant conditioning. And then when we would take a test, we'd not only have to know what operant conditioning was, we'd not only have to explain what it was, but we'd also have to translate that to something that was useful outside of the context of the information we were actually given. We'd have to actually explain what that meant in a real world scenario. My statistics teacher was also really great about this. Math is a great example of this. You may get shown on a piece of paper that symbol we call the number 1, plus that other symbol we call the number 1, put the plus sign in the middle and the equal sign, and that other symbol we call the number 2. We may know 1 plus 1 equals 2 on a piece of paper. But can you apply that? So, for instance, I know that those symbols, 1 and the plus sign and the equal sign and the 2, in that context, 1 plus 1 equals 2. But I also know 1 plus 1 equals 2. That is the difference between knowledge and wisdom, whether or not you can apply it. For instance, I may be given a manual to fix a car. And I may be able to read that manual. But if I cannot then go fix a car with it, I only have knowledge. I don't have wisdom. An example of this on an emotional level. My best friend passed away years ago. And I had intellectually processed the fact that she had died. I could talk about it, but I hadn't emotionally processed it. Because though I had many healing tools at my disposal that I understood, I didn't actually know how to apply them. I had never been actually given a way to apply them. So I went into my counselor's office a year to the day that my best friend died, and we were talking. She had me talking. And I could talk about my friend's death without breaking a sweat, breaking a tear, nothing. Then she said, okay, and now I want you to say goodbye. And I literally couldn't breathe for a moment, welled up with tears. And then I said goodbye. And then it was like this weight was lifted off of my shoulders. Because I had knowledge, but I didn't have wisdom. So I went from intellectually being able to know that my friend was dead and that that wasn't a bad thing, but I hadn't emotionally processed it yet. That jump from understanding how to intellectually process it, from that to emotionally processing it, that was the jump from knowledge to wisdom. And I walked out of that room not realizing just how depressed I had been for the last year and a half. Because I had actually been a little depressed before my best friend passed away. I came to realize. And I walked out of that room not depressed anymore. Being able to understand the difference between having information, having knowledge, and having wisdom is important, because you can have a piece of information, but if you don't know what it means or what to do with it, all you have is a piece of information. And there's a lot of that that's been going around recently, especially in the last 2 years. A lot of people with information who think they have wisdom. And this has many, many, many ramifications in our lives. Like I said, even just being able to do something like count things out at the grocery store. The difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowing that 1 + 1 = 2 on a piece of paper versus knowing that 1 + 1 = 2 in the grocery store when you're counting things out. Knowledge versus wisdom. And we do this physically in the tactile world, and this means many things emotionally, in the spiritual world, in the mental world. There are lots of people who take manifesting and abundance courses and then don't understand why it's not working. And that's because though they've taken in the information, though they have knowledge of the information, they don't actually know how to real world translate that into a change. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'm going to leave this here because I am getting tired. I need to go get myself some more grapefruit juice. So, thank you guys for joining me for another video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out the links in the description. One of those links is a link to doTERRA. And let me tell you, I love doTERRA, but it has been a godsend the last few days. I know that I would have felt worse had I not had doTERRA plant medicine at my disposal. And doTERRA is amazing. If you want to live clean, green, sustainably, etc., if you want to get all the synthetic chemical crap out of your life, in the home, in your body, if you don't want that synthetic chemical crap, and you want to replace it with something good for you, good for the planet, doTERRA. It's your one-stop shop for everything and anything. They have a home line, laundry detergent, dishwasher detergent, soaps. They have skincare lines and hair care lines, and they have a spa line, the chapstick, and then they just have the plant medicine in many different forms, from supplements, lozenges, to just the essential oils themselves. So if you want more plant medicine in your life, in all the ways you could possibly bring it into your life, which is literally like everything that we use in our homes on a daily basis, in our lives on a daily basis, doTERRA. They are the purest. I mean, let me tell you, the skin is the biggest organ we consume things with when it comes to our body. And doTERRA is actually the only essential oil company that I'm aware of that is rated for ingestion. No other essential oil company that I'm aware of is rated safe to ingest. And if I can't put it in my mouth, I don't want to be putting it on my body. So, yeah. Pure, the best, the purest plant medicine. My monthly doTERRA subscription is showing up tomorrow. I was hoping it would show up today, but it's showing up tomorrow, and I am so excited. I can't even begin to tell you. I get excited every month when my monthly subscription box comes in, and they have all sorts of different ways. Like, you don't have to do a monthly subscription box if you don't want. You could just get like 1 or 2 things every once in a while, or you could do the monthly subscription box. It's all up to you. Okay. Last but definitely not least, other than the fact that there are other links in the description, so go check those out as well. May the energies you serve you well, and let's keep making our way through. I am, so I know you can too.